About 4 o'clock evening. I wanted to pop back on and let you all know that I am still kicking and my voice is getting better and my energy levels are starting to come back. I know many of you have been worried about me. I did have COVID and it put me into one of my neuromuscular flares, and my farmer neighbor is sighting in his rifle for gun season, for rifle season that starts after Thanksgiving. So if you hear a boom, that's what that is. He's very responsible, though, so we're not going to worry about that. I'm here working on a couple of Christmas crafts, and I know most of y'all have gotten used to me not being on because I've been sick for a few weeks and just posting some of my videos that I've been able to edit as my health has improved. So I did post Jonah's photo reel from the photo shoot we did a few weeks ago, and I still have more to edit. They're bore sighting that rifle in, so just ignore the booms. But I am much better, and I'm working on some Christmas crafts. I'm coloring a star right now to put on a garland or to put on a hanger for a little Christmas sun. I found a little sloth wrapped in Christmas lights. I thought he was just adorable. And because I know that this is how we most of us feel during the holidays, like we want to enjoy them, but it's just so hard to enjoy the holidays when there's so many pressures out there. And so this is just my little sloth, and hopefully whoever buys it will use it to remind themselves to slow down and enjoy the holidays. So I'm going to put a star and a little tag on it so that they can put they can monogram it for their family if they want to. But it's just a little sloth wrapped in Christmas lights, and I put some little corner frames in there. And it's just to remind people, hey, slow down, enjoy the holiday. Don't forget to make sure that you're enjoying time with your family and all of that. I do still kind of sound funny, but all of the snot is out of me, and I'm almost not inflamed. I'm getting there. But I'm still struggling with my right ear, and I had another antibiotic shot yesterday because the fluid settled and they didn't want it to turn into an ear infection because of all my recent issues with my ears. So I didn't sleep great last night, but it was because my ear finally started putting fluid out. So I'm doing better today. Overall, the flare was the worst part of it. The COVID was like about a strep throat, but it put me into flare, which really kind of shut my body down for a few weeks, almost 2.5 weeks. One of the longest flares I've ever had, and I think it just is because my body was in such a weakened state that it just was able to kind of cause me a little bit more issues than normal. We are still trying to look at this weekend, possibly Friday, possibly Sunday. We don't know yet. Could be tomorrow, could be Sunday. I'm thinking probably Sunday or next week, actually, for the interview, because the person I'm going to be interviewing is also having some getting over some health issues and having some issues with that as well. So, but the interview is still coming. It's either going to happen this weekend or next week, and we're prepping for that and getting everything ready for that. You're probably going to see a more professional side of me. Like most of you only see the person that crafts or, gets on here and has, needy conversations about how your brain's functioning. But it's going to be me in a more of a professional mannerism, because this is a very important thing that I'm bringing. And I want everyone to watch it and really understand that it's something that we need to be paying attention to, and we need to be monitoring, and, we need to be making sure that we're learning the things we need to learn as a society today with the societal problems that we are having in today. So I'm hoping that a lot of y'all will watch the interview and rewatch the interview and research. And we're going to be talking about photons and the human biofield and body area networks, the internet of bodies. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that maybe you don't necessarily think about every day, but that maybe you need to learn about. And we're going to try to do it in a manner that's enjoyable, but also is easily digested and easy for you to take keywords and go and research on your own afterwards as well. I'm going to be bringing in someone that was an internet, basically a data internet tech specialist. So smart, it freaks me out sometimes. Now, I'm not good in that world. I'm more of a, how's your brain doing? How's your emotions doing? How are you physically and mentally melding? Or I'm good in the corrections with people that don't know how to follow rules. But when it comes to information technology and data stuff and the internet, I'm kind of draw a blank there. So I'm going to make sure that the information we receive is going to be easily digestible for you all, and that you learn as much as possible while you're with us, and that you take that and can go and finish researching on your own if you feel the need to. And I hope after this interview you do feel the need to, because I think there's a lot of stuff out there that people need to learn and that we're not learning because they're not stressing the importance of it. But I'm going to stress the importance of it, and I'm going to ask you all to please, the stuff that we talk about, please look into and do your own research. Like I say, question everybody and everything, even me and anyone I have on this channel. Always do your own research and always make up your own mind. So all of that is still moving forward. I am doing better. I still sound like I smoke, but I don't. It's just me getting over COVID. And the biggest issue, COVID wasn't that bad, actually. And I had a really bad strain of it, apparently. Hi, Denise. The worst part was it put me into flare, which caused a lot of issues. Because flare and COVID was really tough. Now, one or the other, probably I wouldn't have been, wouldn't have stopped me like this did, but both of them together about got me. So I've had to be very careful and very mindful of my health. And I do feel my mischief level rising again. So I know I'm beginning to feel better. I got the biggest butt on my head. My hair is so thick. But so we are going to proceed with the interview, and we are all prepping for that. And currently at the moment, I'm making a little Christmas sloth sign, just hoping that someone may want it to remind themselves to slow down and enjoy the holidays. That's my goal anyway. Whoever maybe needs this, maybe needs a reminder to slow down and enjoy the holidays. And I'm going to kind of leave it blank in case they want to personalize it. I colored the star and the tag green so that they can monogram it and put a little special message. But honestly, I'm hoping that somebody that gets this really wants to just be mindful of the fact that, hey, it's time to slow down and appreciate life and these special times that we have. We're lucky to be able to enjoy certain things. And yeah, we're not so lucky in other aspects, but we're really lucky in some. And always slow down and enjoy time with your family and holidays, because you don't know what the next day holds. And I think that's something that my neuromuscular disorder has taught me. And while I don't appreciate my neuromuscular disorder per se, I do appreciate some of the lessons it's taught me. And that is one of the biggest ones it's taught me. So I'm just going to put an extra bow on there so it's just extra pretty. So they can personalize this when they want, if they want to, when they get it. But it's just a little wall hanger, door hanger. It's got a star and a tag at the top. So if they hang it and they want to personalize it, they can. And it's just got a sloth wrapped in Christmas lights. And I put little, in a wooden frame, and I put little filigree in the corners. And this would be something cute for everybody at Christmas to dip their finger in a marker or paint and put a fingerprint on. And then put the year and the family name on the star. And so that you have a year that everybody slowed down to mentally make this for the family and take a moment and appreciate Christmas. I'm trying to do a lot of things that mentally make people slow down and think and appreciate. That's kind of the tangent I've been on lately. Well, I've got about 5 times the hair, Denise. If you see your hair got thin after this, I've got about 5 times the hair a body needs. That may not necessarily be. I'm gonna look at this. I'll take it down. Let me show you. And I've got leave-in conditioner in it right now because it got dry when I had COVID, so I need to wash it again. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all. I had it in Dutch braids yesterday to keep it out of my face. Look at this. I've got a really good leave-in heavy conditioner in it right now, and that's what's keeping it as straight as it is. Look, Now, when Gypsy was here in the summer, she cut it like back up to here, and it's grown that much again. And I need to get it thinned because it is right here. It is so thick. I can't use bands. It snaps them. I have to use very specific hair bows because my hair is so, it's just angry. I have angry hair. It like attacks me. Now, my daughter's hair, if you were to try to deal with it, it would literally fight back. And I said she must have gotten it from me. But I always kept my hair short when I worked because in the corrections field, your hair is just a handle for somebody to really hurt you. I missed a strand. But my hair is super thick, man. I got way too much hair. That's one thing. And it's thinned. I've got like a third of the hair that I had before my hysterectomy. And then after my hysterectomy, it's still super. My hairdresser is still like, you have so much hair. And I'm like, I know. And I don't know why. But now I must say that my parents are both 70 or over. And 70 and 71, and they both still have, now they're gray, but my dad has got long, luscious cigar curls, and mom still has all of her hair, though she keeps it cut short, because that was her teacher hairdo, you know. I got something from Temu today. Now, I won Fishland, but I've also ordered a few things, so I've got paint on my fingers. I don't know what this is, but I thought, heck, while I'm here, I'll just open it. But I won Fishland, and I got like 4 or 5 things. And I'll have you know, they put them everyone in a separate bag to ship to me. And I'm like, oh, God, my postal worker is going to hate me. But I warned him yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. And I was like, I'm so sorry. But they put all of them in different bags. And he was like, okay. I was like, I apologize. Oh, this was something I got because it made me laugh. I had to finish out an order. And I like to round off stuff. And this made me giggle when I saw it. And it's probably going to be too big. Yeah, it's going to be too big. I order stuff and maybe it'll shrink. It says, don't get your tinsel in a tangle. Which is something I would totally say. Y'all know that. And I thought, they've been listening to me. They've been making t-shirts out of something I'd say. But it's just a little Christmas shirt with a little holly leaf right here with little holly berries. And it says, don't get your tinsel in a tangle. And I think it's adorable because it is totally something I would absolutely say. And I'm going to adopt it now and say it a lot. And I think they also sent some of my leftover craft stuff that I've been waiting on. Cedar picks. And, yeah, cedar and pine picks because I'm wreath making here. And, let's see what else is in here. More cedar. I got these little tiny, there's 3 of them in here, but these little tiny boards because they're so cute when you put bows around them, and you can use them as cute little decor or even magnets in your kitchen if you want to. These are so cute, and they're just little tiny, you know, they're not real cutting boards, they're just for decor purposes only, but I thought you could do some cute stuff with these. So I wanted these. Just silver stainless steel hoops. Because I try to keep something in my ears so that to keep them trained. Now, I did get 2 shirts because they had them on sale. And I don't know if they had them on sale or I spun and got a discount for the stuff in my basket. That's what it was. And I had been looking at this one for a while, but I just hadn't wanted to buy it. But I bought it in a smaller size. And it says, don't be a salty heifer. And I like the V-neck. Y'all know I've been going with the V-neck since I've been losing weight. It gives me a little bit more wear in the shirt as I lose weight. And actually, after COVID, I'm now at 45 pounds gone. COVID really just amped it right on up. Now, I expect a little bit of a rebound because I think I got a little too dehydrated. I wasn't eating enough when I was sick with COVID. Probably. So I'm not going to freak out if I gain a pound or 2 this week because it may very well happen because I lost way too much, way too quick with COVID. But I'm at 45 pounds gone right now. So, you know, not the healthiest way to lose it, but okay. But it's just got, this has just got a heifer, a cow on it with a little do-rag, like Rosie the Riveter. And it says, don't be a salty heifer. And, I'm going to say this to everybody, but I figure since I'm working on trying to be quiet, I just let them read it. I really do want to say this to lots of people, though. every day, multiple times a day. There are lots of people that need to be told, don't be a salty heifer. And I think I'm doing a public service announcement. Now, this is another kind of V-neck. And this is that one that's been around going forever. And it's a lighter color, and I thought it'd be cute. But it's just the Tennessee whiskey, sweet as what is it? Smooth as Tennessee whiskey, sweet as strawberry wine. And I just like the blue of this because it's kind of like the blue of this one that I really enjoyed. And I love the feel of these. These are very soft. These are not the shiny, slippery ones. These feel like a cotton, really nice, high-quality t-shirt. And it's got the, you can put a lace here if you want to, or just let it flap. And the V-necks, like I said, as I shrink, they give me a little bit more longevity out of the shirts. And I had those two in my basket, and they gave me a spin down. And then I had needed some more Christmas craft stuff, so I just got those while I got it. I do have all of my Fishland winnings coming in, and I'm fixing to win farmland all over again. They just don't know. I'll just sit there and use every point every day and just patiently use them and wait. They just don't know. You know, most people, what they say, have the attention span of a goldfish. Not me, by golly. I'm there every day, every mealtime, and I'm putting all my points together, and I'll just wait politely in the corner and do this every day until I win. That's just how I am. Now, these are actually really strong, sturdy hoops. I'm very surprised at the quality of these. These are dadgum. These are some high quality, really good snapping, very good mechanical workings. I mean, these are not moving. They're snapping and unsnapping, and they're in there. They're made very well. I highly recommend these. They come in pairs, so you get a big pair and a small pair. And I've had 15,000 pairs of earrings in my ears. I don't know why it won't go back in. But I've been trying to make sure I am putting earrings in every day, and just trying, since I'm feeling better now, just trying to, put a little pearl necklace and lipstick on the pig, y'all. That's what I'm trying to do. Yesterday, I tried to look nice because my nurse had to come out and give me another shot, and I hated to look like death. So I have on no makeup still, but my color is much better, and I'm over this. I've been over it for a while, but I've not been able to get out of the flare and to shake the fluid behind my right ear and my right sinus. But after that shot yesterday, it just started pouring out of me. Let me tell you about it. It was sad. Now, I will say that I was taught, and this is not medical advice, this is just what I was taught by my granny and great-granny and mama. When you croupy and need to croup tint yourself, or you need to leave water going in the house to make sure that you got, those are pretty. They graduate from bigger to smaller. I like those. If you're sick and you need snot coming up, you need, cinnamon and cloves in a simmer pot or a crock pot open is really good to help break that up and bring it up. And it's much better than just pure saline or just pure water. And where is my ear hole? And that's what I used to croup tint myself with. And the doctor was very impressed at how great my lungs did, because they really anticipated me going to the hospital with this bout. And I got through it. Now, I did have to have an ER visit. Well, to diagnose the COVID, I had to have an ER visit for a test. And then I had to go back and have one breathing treatment. When I was getting everything up, I had just one clump of stuff that would not exit. And but they gave me a nebulizer breathing treatment, alveolar breathing treatment at the ER, and it came right up. So, and he took x-rays of my lungs and said that they looked amazing, and that he was amazed that someone with all of my issues, where is my earring hole? That was someone with all of my issues had gotten through it as well as I'd gotten through it. Now, it was rough, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, but I think my flare was rougher than the COVID because my flare froze my upper torso, which you need your torso to cough. And so that was one of, I may have to go find me a mirror for this one. That was one of the big issues with the COVID that I had was my torso muscles froze, and I could not cough hard enough to get stuff out. My intercostal muscles were actually pulling my ribs during this flare. So it was not pleasant, but I got through it. We got through it. So, it took me almost 4 years, but it finally caught me. I always said it's not a if you're going to get COVID, it's when. So I finally got it. And the doctor told me actually this strain going through this area is actually one that's just as bad as the very original strain. Which I find funny because that doesn't happen in nature, not normally. But she was amazed at how well I did through it. Even though it took me almost 3 weeks to get over it, she said I really did a good job and really knew how to do at-home maintenance. And I was like, yeah, I was taught well. Thank goodness I had, wise women to lean upon. But I am feeling better. I've been up for a while now. I think I'm going to be doing a nap. I had a virtual conference with my insurance and my doctors just because they're trying to learn more about my disorder. And so they're being very proactive, and I'm very pleased with them. I mean, I'd rather them be proactive than not. So I'm very pleased with them seeking out my feedback and asking to use information at trainings and stuff. And I'm like, heck yes, you please use my information and train people about this disorder, because everyone needs to know about it. Everyone needs to have an idea of what it is. And the medical field really needs to pick up the pace and do better. That's my big thing. The medical field really needs to do better with my disorder. So I'm tickled to death and I'm feeling better. So we're going to be going back to crafting. And this is really all I've done today. And if I do anything else tonight, it's going to be tie sandwich bags around a wreath form. Because that roast F and shot yesterday just really kind of has made me tired. But I want to go to the live nativity Saturday in the south end of the county. So that's my goal, is to feel good enough to go to the live nativity and enjoy that. Now that I have antibodies, I'm going to use the heck out of them. I'm going to enjoy as much of the holidays as I can. Now, this did throw off our trip to Georgia to visit my daughter, but we will be going, and it'll just be a little bit later because David had to take a lot of vacation days to babysit me because I was so sick. So we will be going a little bit later toward Christmas, and it will be a day that he can go and hunt. Deer hunting season takes priority. But we will still be going. So no fear. We will be going to see, I call her Almaloo, Haley, and checking on her. She's doing great in her pregnancy. She's staying healthy. She's getting around good. She's huge, but she's adorable. She's beautiful pregnant. I just look like a swollen Cape Buffalo in a rice paddy field when I was pregnant, but she looks elegant and gorgeous, and thank you, Janet. I really appreciate that so much. I tell you, YouTube was a lifesaver while I was sick, but also my daughter would send me belly pics to perk me up every day because I really enjoy following along in her pregnancy and getting her feedback on just, what do you think about being pregnant? She's not enamored at this point. Of course, she's got twins, and so she's got one up under each rib cage at night. So I'm sure she's not having a good time with it. But I'm finally getting better, finally getting back to things, and we are going to continue with the interview. That's very important. It'll happen this weekend or next week. Depends on travel and health stuff, because the person I'm interviewing is also getting over a sickness, and but hers is like more of a bronchitis issue, so I'm not really worried about being around her. But we will be going along and doing that. It's going to be very important. I cannot stress how important it is for you to watch the interview that I'm going to do. And if for some reason after that my channel goes blip on YouTube, you can find me on Brighteon or on Rumble or on Odyssey. I already have Hillbilly Heart pages pegged just in case. Because I'm going to be bringing some information that I think that you need to know, that you need to have, in your mind to kind of question things and to create a thought profile and to look at things differently. And I don't know how I don't know if everyone's going to appreciate that, but I'm going to bring it to you anyway, because I think you deserve to know, as a fellow human being, you should have this information. So we're going to make sure you get this information. And whatever happens, happens. And, just going to I'll just roll with the punches. That's what I do best anyway. So I'm anxious to get that done and over with and kind of move on and see kind of where we go from there, because I think this will be like a big awakening for a lot of people on my channel. And if you want to kind of understand what I'm going to be doing, you might want to go to the Odyssey platform and go to the channel called Synergy, P-S-I-N-E-R-G-Y. And that's who I'll be interviewing. We've been really good friends for a couple years now. And I've learned a lot from her. And I would like to share that with you all and give you all an option to learn some things that shocked the crap out of me, but also gave me a better perspective on the world that I'm living in. So I want to share that with you all. I think it's my duty when I find something out. Duty. See, I'm still 12 years old. I think it's my duty when I find something out like that to always share it with others. I mean, that's the only decent human thing to do, I think, is when you find something out, share it with others and let them make their own mind up about it. So I'm going to be bringing you the information. Also, I found a new YouTuber. She's a very new YouTuber. It's Madness and Menopause and Madness. Menopause and Madness. She's gorgeous. I want her to do my eye makeup so bad. She's gorgeous. And her backdrop is, mine's just quilts. But her backdrop is so pretty. And she has such a soothing way of talking. And when I couldn't sleep when I was going through COVID, I found her channel and she talked almost like ASMR and would do Temu hauls. And y'all know I like to watch the Temu hauls to make sure I don't buy crap. So I watched the other women to make sure I don't buy crap. And she was so soothing to listen to. And I was just like, I love this. It's just so, I mean, you just feel like you've just taken a big sigh and you've breathed and it's just beautiful. And so if you like Temu hauls and you like to listen to somebody that's kind of got a really docile, quiet, and soothing voice at night before you're going to sleep, Menopause and Madness is your girl. She's just got a beautiful, beautiful channel, beautiful backdrop, beautiful personality, beautiful voice. I've been very, very much watching her and Hey Everybody and Are We There Yet to get my Temu haul information because I don't want to buy junk, and to kind of spend the hours where I've been suffering through this sickness. It's been a nice way to kind of spend the hours, with people that are soothing, because there was nothing soothing about COVID. Nothing at all. Now, in a couple of days when I feel better, I'm going to put on fitted clothing and do a full body, here I am at 45 pounds gone. And then I'm going to try to find the outfit I put on day one when I started my Monjaro journey and do an update so you can see me in that outfit then and now, so you can see how my body has changed and how 45 pounds off of me looks. I'm making bone garlands out of coyote leg bones and coyote vertebrae and wedding beads. That's actually buffalo bone that's burnt. I love my little indigenous people that make me all this weird, nice, awesome stuff. And then I love it when David gives me the leftovers from his fur shed. Because, I'm Cherokee. We don't waste anything. And the only way to respect the animal is to keep its spirit alive. And when you do art with it, you keep its spirit alive. So I'm going to put a top on this, a loop on top with beads. And it'll be a door hanger or something to lay. Just something odd that somebody can have as decor. Some people like odd stuff. I like odd stuff. And I made a huge bone garland for us for Halloween, and I didn't bond with it like I thought I would. Normally I name stuff and hang on to everything. But so I'm taking it apart and creating other garlands. So that's what I'm doing this evening. And I might tie a sandwich bag wreath. I don't know. If you do a sandwich bag wreath, all you need is anything round. You can use a coat hanger, and you just need these plastic sandwich bags that fold over at the top. you just simply cut them in half. I like to cut them in half diagonally so you get one really puffy side and one thin side, and it kind of works itself out as you tie them. And then you just tie them in one knot, just like you're tying a shoelace, just one over and under, pull tight around whatever form you've got, and push them as close together as possible, and then do a trim job if you need to. And it looks really beautiful. And you can make snowmen out of 3 wreath forms, or you can make a tree over a coat hanger that's based in a wood round. There's so many things. And then you can get those little colorful ornaments, and they look so good against the clear, it's like almost an iridescent plastic once you get them all done. And if you get the little multicolor lights at Dollar Tree and hide the turn on and off battery part, it's so cute. So I'm going to make some of those. I'm so far behind crafting. Okay, I may have read that wrong. Do I have any kind of Job's tears in your artwork? Okay, I may be missing, because that's nothing I've heard before. I have a little lady in Canada that sends me ghost beads, which are just juniper berries dried. I use those sometimes. And I use, in Cherokee, we call them Cherokee tears, but Navajo call them ghost beads. And I use a lot of teeth, vertebrae for earrings, necklaces. I've done some rings. And I've been kind of fanning out to these little weird garlands, because everybody's going gaga over garlands lately. So I thought, well, heck, we'll just do bone garlands. And since my husband is a trapper and tanner, and I live in Appalachia and I'm part Cherokee, this is completely normal for me. I know it's strange. It's completely normal for me. And so I just try to look at what is going in the decor, and then I just try to make stuff from nature, like what is all in the rage. And so that's kind of what I do. Now, I will say that there was a lady that wanted that rattle that I made. She had a special needs child that did not respond to much, and the therapist was actually really worried because he was not responding. And they had such trouble and just getting a diagnosis and then getting treatment. And he wasn't responding very well with the therapies. And she came by the table and just shook the rattle. And he smiled and about jumped out of his little chair. And she said, I'm not believing that. So she shook it again. And he did the same thing. So she walked around, handled a few other things, no response, come back, very stealthily to the rattle, shook it again, and he reacted again. So she was like, I'm taking this. She was like, it's mine. I was like, heck yeah, it's yours. I was like, I guess I made it for your kid. That brought me so much happiness to see that little boy who is normally locked in his body act out and respond. And she said, what is this? I said, well, it's a coon skull rattle on a beaver-tooth willow stick wrapped in otter and beaver and raccoon and coyote fur. But it's got amethyst and amazonite and fluorite gems in it. And she said, he never responds to anything. And I said, I'm amazed. I said, let me know how he does. So we've been keeping in touch on Facebook, and still that is his favorite sound, and he's still responding. And the doctors and the physical therapists are just mesmerized. And I'm like, I'm not mesmerized. There's a lot of good juju in that rattle. So I'm very proud. That was probably, I was very proud about that. That was something that I was like, I did something really good there, and I was very proud of myself. And, and that kind of made all the struggle I've been going through to get better so I can craft some more. I thought that's why I'm doing all this. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, is sending out that good energy and helping people. So, and as soon as my snot finishes, I've got Savannah, a dream catcher I've been working on, and I don't want to handle it until I get absolutely completely healthy, because I don't want to send her anything, bless her heart. And I'm anxious to see how she responds to her dream catcher. And I like to personally make them rather than to bulk make them. If you hear shots, it's just my farm neighbor over the way bore sighting his rifle in for deer season that starts here after Thanksgiving. So don't freak out. It just echoes really loud, but he's very safe in handling his gun, so we're fine. I have had some neighbors shooting even at 1 and 2 in the morning that I don't appreciate, so I really appreciate the neighbors that are careful with their weapons. I'm going to be making a deer jawbone sun catcher. Oh, you're Cajun French. That's probably why I didn't get that. Job's tears. It's a plant. I kill. I love my house plants, but I struggle with them. Let me tell you. Well, okay. Now I know about the plant that's along the Trail of Tears. I didn't know they called it Job's Tears. Isn't that strange? How different regions, different things. That's kind of funny. No, I don't use that. I make smudge feathers and dream catchers and ceremonial sticks and rattles. And I'll put some big beads on this. And bone and teeth jewelry. As a Cherokee, you're taught you do not waste the animal. The animal. My husband's a trapper tanner. We don't trap to eradicate. We just do nuisance trapping for. I act like I'm doing something. He does nuisance trapping for TWRA, and so he is only trapping what is overpopulated and creating issues. And when farmers call and they're like, we want every one of them gone, we're like, that's not healthy for the land. We won't help. So I get to use all the extras in all the ways that I was taught when I was little by the little old ladies. I always wanted to make a drum though, but drums were for the men. But now since I'm older, I'm like, well, I can make a drum if I want to. I mean, they won't buy it. The tribe won't buy it, but I can make a drum if I want to now. So my next big goal is to make my own drum out of my own tanned hide. So that's a goal, and I really want to make a drum. I look like my Irish daddy, but my mama is a beautiful, dark-complected. There's actually a video a couple weeks back where she came up and crafted with me. And I show you the difference in our skin tones because I take after my Irish father. And my mother is just, you can tell, she's just beautiful. And my brother got her beautiful complexion and hair. And I look like I'm one potato famine away from death at all times because I look like my father. I mean, my dad's a handsome man, but I'm very jealous of my brother who got, the dark, easily tanned skin and the raven hair. And I'm just like sitting over here freckling and sunburning. And I was always, they laughed at me at the powwows when I was a kid and called me Spotted Pony because I was so freckled compared to all of them. And I just let it slide because I understood it. I thought it was funny too. But growing up and going to powwows when you're red-haired and fair-complected it's a different experience. I'll just say that. But everybody was always welcoming. But kids can be buttholes at even on a good day they can be buttholes. So you run across them every once in a while. Let's see. I'm going to put another bow up here by this. So if they want to hang it, and I'm going to glue the bows together. I'll show you in just a second as soon as I get it done. I've not crafted in so long, and this is already wearing me out. That's how much COVID really knocked me down. But thank goodness for the herbal knowledge that my great-grandmother and grandmother and mother had given me, because that's what got me through COVID. And the ER doctor was very mesmerized by my plants and herbs I used to get through COVID. He was like, wow, you're smart. And I'm like, no, I just don't like doctors. I have a neuromuscular disorder and I don't like doctors. So let me get these stuck together here. I've got a heat gun to melt these glue strands finally. Okay, this is going to be my tassel. They can leave that hanging or put it on a hook, and the star, in a couple of days, the jute will relax and the star will hang down. They can hang it on a doorknob. They can hang it on a cabinet hook. They can hang it on a mantelpiece. They can just lay it across something. I may put some banding on the bone here later with some paint, and it's got another star, more beads, coyote vertebrae, wood beads, a bison hornbeam wood bead, and then a buffalo bone bead that is burnt. And I just think that's plumb cute. I just think that's plumb cute. And people are just so mesmerized with the garlands right now. And I don't know why. But I mean, if you like them, I'll make them. Have one random feather that I need to cut and fix. Bless its little heart. It's had a rough life. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I have to sit here and work with it, make them come together. I might have to use a little drop of glue. I've been making smudge feather fans with selenite or quartz. Selenite, quartz, or a little piece of abalone. And those did really well. So it's just been, it's just a learning experiment because I like weird stuff. And I will say that we do get like the weirdest award anytime David goes anywhere. And people do highlight a lot of our crafts and stuff. And they do always ask us to come back because we do get, we pull in a lot of people that are interested in what we do. Every once in a while you run across somebody that just does not understand how you live in a different kind of mindset when you're Appalachian and you live off the wood, out of the woods and off the land, and you have a really close relationship with nature. They just don't understand. And you run across those people everywhere, but that's okay because, we deal with them. I have reflex sympathetic dystrophy. So it's very much like MS. They don't have anything that can blanket my symptoms yet. And I hope at some point in my life that they figure out how to slow down this roller coaster ride that I'm on because I don't appreciate it at all. Oh, I wish I could just snap my fingers and fix everything, but I can't. I do a lot of goldenrod tincture for inflammation, marshmallow root for inflammation, turmeric, honey, garlic, and cinnamon and ginger and all that good stuff. Black seed powder, Irish sea moss for extra minerals and vitamins. I mean, I really, I will walk through my yard and make a salad during the spring and summer. I'm just one of those people. And I made mullein, but I need to strain it, and I did not have the strength to strain it, or I would have used my mullein during my COVID bout when I was coughing so bad. And I was like, I need to strain my mullein, but I don't want to do it while I'm sick. So my mullein, I'm going to have to strain it as soon as I feel better. And then I'll be using it for cough suppressant for the rest of the winter. So, I just do how I was taught. So it's, and a lot of people have an issue with people that live differently than them. I don't. Hey, Savannah, I was just saying, as soon as I get through with my snotty nose, I'm going to finish a dream catcher. I don't want to touch it while I'm sick. But yeah, I love natural crafting. Now, I like to do cute stuff too. So I'll make some wreaths, and I try to have a wide variety of stuff when I craft. But I am the happiest when you give me stick and bones and pliers and and I make something. That's when I'm happiest, is when I completely cultivate something from nature that you did not anticipate. That's when I really enjoy the appreciation that I get from people that see it and really go gaga over it. That's what I enjoy. Yeah, I got another antibiotic shot last night to help the fluid that's stuck here during COVID to come on out. And so I didn't sleep great last night, but I feel better today. I have energy. I actually want to do something, which is great. I had just got off like a 2-hour call with my insurance provider because they are trying to build information about this disorder. And so I've had a long day. I need a nap, but I just wanted to pop on and finish a couple things. And I'm very tickled with my bone garland. You can hang it up, and that star in a couple of days will relax and droop. You can hang it up or lay it down or put it over a doorknob or a cabinet. It's just, and I think I may put some banding on the bone. I don't know. But people have been all about the garlands lately, and, that's fine. Are you talking about cumin powder? I can't tolerate that stuff. I do the black seed powder, and we try to eat it's kind of like a Mediterranean diet, honestly, but we try to eat, the bulk of the meals are vegetables, And and as of yesterday, I was 45 pounds gone, y'all. I'm getting there. I think I might rebound a little this week because I think some of it was lost because I was so sick with COVID last week. But that's okay if I rebound a little bit. It's just because I'm hydrating. And we'll get back to it. But I was at 45 pounds when the nurse weighed me yesterday. 45 pounds gone. So I'm doing better. But I have like a little apothecary cabinet over there. And I like to make my own stuff. Hi, Gypsy. I like to make my own stuff, but I don't mind to buy stuff that is, proven to be beneficial. I really think the Irish sea moss is really good. I think that's what's helped me the most. Yeah, I do a lot of turmeric, and I cook with a lot of turmeric too, but it also goes in my garlic and honey and ginger and all that, cinnamon, all that garb. Actually, I think it was my honey, lemon, orange, cinnamon, and clove teas that helped flush my snot from COVID so much. So I really, and it's called a friendship tea, but it's a really old time tea. I cannot find my ear hole, and I'm struggling so much. And I just took earrings out before I came up here because I was laid down, so I don't know why I can't get back in. Autocorrect hates me. Ask Gypsy about me and autocorrect. It's it's a love-hate relationship. And I had just bought a whole big jar of local honey, and I think that was a big help as well. Autocorrect hates me, doesn't it, Gypsy? I mean, it gets creative. My thumbs they cannot traverse a cell phone keypad at all. It's just, I come up with some really weird stuff. I did post the first half of Jonah's photos. If you want to go watch the photo reel from Jonah's Rockstar photo shoot that I did a few weeks ago before I got sick. And that was fun. I was so happy that my body allowed me to do that. I love photography. I don't always get to do it, but when you give me a cattle farm and you give me a Kubota side-by-side, I will travel and take photos. So that was nice. Dad just gave me his Kubota and said, go. And I went and took photos. They turned out really good. I've still got more to do. Some of them are going to look like an Old West because he had props. He had an air pistol as a prop and a little 410 pew-pew. But they were just props. Nothing was loaded. And but he wanted to have a strong kind of rock star cowboy, Old West but New Age kind of vibe. And so far, I think I'm doing pretty good with my edits. And I don't get to spend a lot of time with my camera anymore because of my disorder. But I was happy when I picked it up and started editing the pictures that I got. I was happy that I may have lost time with it, but I've not lost my skill. So the pictures are still really good. So yay for me. Yeah, Janet is Cajun. Now, my son-in-law is from deep Georgia, and every time he comes and visits, I feel like I need to make like etouffee because he's got like a Louisiana dialect, and I love to pick on him. The first 3 times he visited, we like could not communicate. And now we're better. But he's got a really thick accent, and I love it. I love to listen to him talk. I love people that are different than me. I don't know why people are so scared of people that are different from them, because I think you learn the most about yourself and others when you look at people that are polar opposite of you. It makes you reflect internally, but it also makes you aware of the world around you. And I wish our world was more open to looking at others and seeing the positives as opposed to seeing the negatives. That's one thing I really wish would happen. Oh, thank you so much, Janet. You're part of the family. Now, we do a lot of crafting. We do some theological and existential conversations about big topics where you have to roll your britches up because it gets kind of deep in here. And I'm going to be doing an interview in about a week that's going to be one of those things that's going to be very, very good and very thought-provoking. So I hope you come back and watch that. I'm going to be interviewing a very intelligent woman that's had a very interesting life. And then we do a lot. You follow my health journey with my neuromuscular disorder, which I got big after all my leg surgeries. I was injured as a wilderness camp counselor when a boy threw an axe at me. Lovely. I went on after my surgeries and kind of learned how to walk again. I went on to be a parole officer and supervise violent offenders for the state, murderers and stuff like that for about a decade. And then as my health got worse, I transitioned to teaching cognitive behavioral therapy to the parolees, having a smaller caseload. And then I went to a youth in state's custody that had trauma and addiction past and were violent. And I did counseling group therapy with them. And I did individual therapy for a while as well until the doctor told me I needed to stop or I was going to kill myself because I was spending more time in the hospital than anywhere. And so I found my little safe place normally where I function very well at home. I know my limitations and I'm doing pretty good. But my husband's factory just had a COVID outbreak, and bless his heart, even though they take extra precautions for me, bless their heart, they do, they try. He still got it and brought it home. And so it was a rough few weeks here, but we got through it. We're good. You're an Army brat that never traveled. Well, that makes you special, though. You're Acadian descent. Well, that's a lot of people don't know where they came from. Denise, honey, I'm good. I can do this. You go on. Don't ever stress yourself or make yourself tired. You go on and lay down, honey. I got it. Yeah, you got to be open-minded. Somebody said, you have a narrow mind. I said, but it's open at both ends. So they didn't quite know how to respond to that. But I don't know. I like to make people think, but I also like to educate and give a different perspective because there are so many people that don't live like me. And so I think it's good to expose people to it because, people in the country know about the city because we have to go to the city for certain things, but people in the city don't always know about the deep, dark country. And they don't understand our lifestyle because they don't spend enough time here to truly embrace it or understand, why we do what we do. So I'm just trying to kind of highlight the redneck life. My husband is a trapper tanner, and he has a channel called, what is it? Trapper Dave Waters. Yeah, I think it's Trapper Dave Waters. And I posted his first scouting session for the season a few videos ago if you want to watch it. And then his channel will host the rest of those through trapping season. And he had 2,200 pictures on his trail camera the other day. Oh my gosh! Let me tell you, that was a bunch. Everybody pray for Denise. I know everybody's health has been up and down here lately, and we just need to remember to send good vibes to everybody. Oh, you were born in Columbus, Georgia. My daughter lives like 30 minutes from Florida now, so that's going to be a fun drive when she's getting ready to have the twins. So it's going to be a lovely drive. Hi, Ashley. We're just such a small little family here. We love each other. Did anybody catch a lot of, thank you, Gypsy, for putting my contact information out there. Did anybody catch Ryan Upchurch's last video where he's doing all where he's doing all like the theological thinking and pondering, pontification? I will give the boy credit. He's a thinker. He's a thinker. And I'm always impressed with his ability to ground himself. But I will state that I'm also unimpressed with his ability to completely fly off the handle and kind of lose that grounding. It's kind of a cycle with him. And I really, if you watch this, he liked one of my comments the other day. If you actually watch this and see this, I really wish you would talk to somebody about the cyclical behavior you tend to have, because your life would be so much calmer if the cycle slowed down and you understood what was creating the cycle, the behaviors that were creating the cycle, the kind of the way itself manifests. But I see that something must have changed because he has really grounded back down the last little bit. And I'm so happy to see that. Oh yeah, the Foxfire books were like the Bible in my household. I had them too. But I grew up in a family that did taxidermy, had a hunting lodge, had a meat processing thing, had beef cattle, had draft mules and Belgians, and worked broiler houses, and had tobacco base. So I learned how to do everything on the farm. And my dad always joked and said I was the best farmhand he ever had. He's like, "You're the best farmhand I've ever had." And I was like, "Thank you." And he has a son, but I was the best farmhand. I'm 45. Though my cute little chipmunk cheeks, when I look pretty and have makeup on, they kind of fudge a few years. I like that. But I'm 45 and my kids are almost 25 and 26. So I'm a baby. I don't feel like a baby this week. And most of my friends are 55 and up. And I think it's just because I have an older mindset. You grew up in Europe. I have a really great friend that lives in Prague. You probably know, if you know Peter Freestone, somehow we met in 2016 and became great friends, and he lives in Prague. And so I get kind of a little introduction to village living through him, and I think it's very sweet and quaint and cute. I could totally live there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every picture he sends is like this glorious backdrop of just pure history, and I'm like, I got a tree. And I'm like, you like my pine tree? But he's a sweetie pie, and we've become really good friends. And he's had a rough last year too. But if you want to go to Peter Freestone Official on Instagram, you can kind of follow him. But he took care of Freddie Mercury for the last 12 years of his life. Was like cooked for him. And I call the man walking Xanax, because when he walks in a room, it just slows down and you calm down. He's just got that kind of demeanor. I adore him. He's just the gentlest soul I've ever met. And I'm so lucky to have met him. And I pinch myself every day to think that he took time to message me or voice call me or send me a voice message. It blows my mind. And when we became friends, I asked him if I could get a tattoo on, because I'm inked out. And he was like, yes. So I got a little Phoebe bird for Bird of Friendship. It says Phoebe on the banner. It's a little barn swallow. So, but we call, and when I refer to my great grandkids, I'm like, great Uncle Phoebe, what you doing? Here's some more pictures of the babies. He gets a kick out of it. He is just the sweetest man. And I tell him, we don't talk about Queen or Freddie or anything much, really. When we talk, we just talk like friends. Like, how you doing? How's your cat? What's going on? And, and he finds that very refreshing, that I'm not like trying to ply information. Well, I don't need to ply information. I've watched every documentary. I know everything about the band. I don't want to know about the band members' children. I don't want to, I think there are like certain cutoff points where fans should not go. And when I met this man, I realized that he has such a big heart, and that he does what he does now. He goes around and does the AIDS Titanic program and the educational programs to honor his friends and to help others face this difficult disease. And, but he also comforts people that miss Freddie terribly. So it kind of like keeps Freddie alive for people. That's a weight to bear, y'all. That's hard. I mean, that's a weight on him. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. You can just be loved for being a good human being. You don't have to always be loved for being something around Freddie. I was like, I personally like you because you have the most gigantic heart I've ever met, And I said, that's what makes you a rock star in my book, not that you knew somebody that was famous. I mean, I know famous people. My gosh, they're just people. They're just like the rest of us. I'll get this earring in. It's about to drive me nuts. But I think he likes my laid back approach to things. But he was on the set of Bohemian Rhapsody. And so I would send him like voice messages or little stupid, like this happened today in Appalachia. Let me tell you how podunk we are. And I would send him little voice messages or type out little funny things that happen. And he would share that with the cast. And I'm like, oh dear. Oh dear. What do they know about me? So, oh yeah, people like him are so rare. And he's just, you can just feel the whole room slow down and focus on his energy when he walks in. He's just so calming. He's just one of those rare people that God puts on the planet to keep all of us crazy people from dropping off the edge. I mean, he's just, I just adore him. What do they know about me? What have they heard me say? To the point where they would say, has that little hillbilly sent you anything? And I was like, they're asking for my jokes. And I just thought that was hilarious. And when we watched the movie, me and my friends had to sit and wait until we saw his name scroll, because he was somebody that was there on scene to make sure that the house was set up correctly and it looked correctly and the wardrobe was correctly and the cats and the bowls and everything was legit. And we waited until we saw his name go, and then we all cheered, and everybody at the movie theater thought it was crazy because they're like, "Why are you cheering? The movie's over." And but we were cheering for Phoebe. I call him Phoebe because that's what Freddie called him. But if you want to kind of meet him, figure him out, it's Peter Freestone Official on Instagram. I'm telling you, country people, there's a wealth of knowledge that people have forgot to tap into. And I think what's going on in the world now has scared enough people to where they're starting to be like, oh crap, we better pay attention. And I'm like, you might want to listen to some of us. We still know how to dig out spring houses and create a water filtration system out of basically nothing. And, it's just, I think we're wise in different ways. I also think that people in the city have different skills that are, that I don't have. And I wish instead of looking at each other and only seeing differences, we could look at each other and say, hey, I can learn from you. Instead of thinking, I'm above you or you're beneath me, hey, I can learn from you and you can learn from me. I love to meet people that are different than me because my gosh, if everybody was like me, can you imagine what a crapshoot the earth would be? Oh, goodness. They are. And I've got twins on the way. My daughter's going to have twins in April. And so I've been really working on my health so that they will give me like a 30-day leave to go and spend with her around her C-section time. And that's what I've been working really hard on. I've been working on my health for a while, but I got like 30 pounds off and I could not get any more weight off. It just stopped. And I waited like 6 months after the doctor tried to put me on this medicine because I was scared of it. And now I'm like, why was I scared of it? It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I did my research because that's who I am. And it's been the best. I only take the second stage dose. So it starts out at 2.5 and then 5. Most people take 10 or 12 or 17. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'll take 5 because I think I need to do more work than the medicine. But it's like having the bumpers in the bowling alley. That's what it does for me. It just provides a little bit of structure to remind me, there are things about how I eat and when I eat and what I eat that I need to change. And I actually eat really healthy. I wasn't eating enough calories, I found out, which is why my body was a lockbox and holding on to everything. And I was eating at the wrong times. And so now I do much better with that. Matter of fact, I'm fixing to have a feta cheese low carb pita pocket thing that I made. I made David and sent some with him and kept me one for dinner. But I just learned that I was just, I used to halter break show cattle and train horses and shoe horses with my dad and tend to a farm. And so I always was a big sturdy Amazon and weight never stuck on me because I was baling hay or doing something very difficult. And then when I got injured, and I was walking like 9-10 miles a day at that wilderness boot camp. And then when I got injured, life changed overnight. And I was young enough to think, oh, I'll bounce back. I did not bounce back. And then when we started having all the surgeries, I started putting on all the weight because it was surgeries and steroids and surgeries and steroids and surgeries and steroids. And it's like, so when they finally decided, oh, wait, you've got this rare disorder and you're not a surgical candidate and we've just kind of screwed you up doing all these surgeries, I was like, okay, stop. Let's get this off of me because I can't take being this big. I mean, you've always been able to hitch a plow to me, but I've never been round. And so I'm working on getting myself back. And plus my legs have issues, like they go out a lot. And so the smaller I am, the longer my legs will function. So I know grandbabies are, literally, and you look at them and you look at life in a different way when you see your lineage and you realize what it's all about. It's not all about you. It's not all, it's about how do I take care of this place so that, the people that I create and that will create more have a good place to live and are able to enjoy, these things and are able to have clean water and good food and, happy times in their life and not be terrified of everything. Because I think they keep us in an emotional state because emotional states create huge reactions. And they like for us to have huge reactions because then they have stuff to fuss at us about, which keeps us in a higher emotional state, which just perpetually makes us easy to corral, easy to herd. Because when you're scared, you're more likely to follow any leader because you're terrified. And normally that's when these really bad leaders pop up and they're like, oh, you're terrified. I've got the answer. And you follow horrible people. And I think that if you've made it to a level to where you can be in Congress or above, you're probably crooked as a dog's hind leg. I mean, look, we almost had a fight break out in Congress the other day, or in the Senate. Which one was it? You know, and I'm sorry, but I'm not too happy about cocaine being found at the White House. I'm not too happy about the behavior of our senators and our representatives and our congressmen and women. I'm just like, how about we become better people? And if I would get in trouble for it, you should probably get in trouble for it too. That's kind of how I look at things. I'm like, it's the law, and it should be there for everybody. Yeah, the depth of love greatly increases when you see grandbabies. Yeah, it's a whole different vibe, and it's a struggle sometimes. You know, and I remember when I had kids and, you know, and I was trying to become an adult, and that's a messy time in life when you're trying to, you know, become an adult, take care of stuff, but you're still very much needing help and needing guidance. Kids these days don't like guidance. And if you try to give them guidance, they will just, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I see that you need help. I see that you're confused. I can help you. I've got a few more decades on you. Let me help you. And they're like, how dare you try to help me? And it's like, sorry. Saw something that was about to tank and burn. Thought I'd give you a 5-second warning, but okay. You go ahead and tank and burn. But it is frustrating because this last generation seems very much, I mean, honestly, let's just talk about it. We all should have bought stock and Vaseline because it seems like the last 20 years, all anybody's been born has done is stuck their head right up their hiney. And if we bought stock and Vaseline, we'd all be rich right now, or Preparation H. Thinking about that. You know, I see people now and I'm just like, there's such a better way to be. But there's no one to lead by example. And even our politicians can't lead by example. They're just a bunch of kids. They've reduced themselves from having these great, you know, big brain conversations to just, you know, I call it the gorilla gesticulation you see at the zoo when you go by the primate exhibit. It's just horrible to watch. It's horrible to watch. Oh, how precious. I bet you melted, Janet. I bet you melted when she said that. Yeah, you get a dopamine hit when you get them grandbabies around. You do. It's very nice. I can even just look at pictures and get a dopamine hit. And I mean, it's just like, it touches your heart and your brain. I mean, it changes your whole chemical composition, I believe. I know that they've done studies, but I would love, I probably need to look at more. I would love to see, when they watch the brain light up, I would love to see them hand a grandmother her grandbaby and see how the brain lights up. That would be so neat. That would be so neat. That is probably out there. Okay, Gypsy. Be safe. Squeeze Abby for me. Love ya. Yeah, we need better people, and we need to really stop all this. I mean, because they're trying to put everything green, but in order to make green stuff, you have to rely on coal and fossil fuels. I mean, you're never going to be green. And then the green stuff that they're trying to make, like the wind turbines and stuff, are the most toxic when they become inefficient. And the thing is if you look into tree planting and how many trees absorb certain chemicals and gases and release oxygen, we would do better to just keep our combustion engines and our coal and our gas and just plant trees and make sure that we keep trees and conservation areas rather than try to make 5-year-olds dig lithium out of a pit with their bare hands. You know, I'm concerned. And I will say that when I was at the ER and sick, I was like, I don't leave my house. I might come in contact with 5 people a month. I want to know how someone can travel the world internationally and stuff off of women's heinies internationally and never get sick, but me that never leaves my home gets sick. Tell me how that works. I want to know. And the doctor was just like, uh-oh. And I was like, because I feel targeted. That's what I told him. And he was like, uh-oh. I mean, I'm pretty careful about where I put myself and how many people I come in contact with because of my health. But I would think that if I were traipsing internationally across the globe and sniffing stuff off of women that I had to buy as behinds, I would probably have gotten sick by now, don't you think? But no, those people are healthy. Oh, they're healthy. While the rest of us are like this. But I will tell you that they built 17 towers in my county and the surrounding county in the last 2 years. Our cell signals have not improved. Matter of fact, they've worsened. Verizon bought Straight Talk, which is supposed to work off the same towers, but apparently it doesn't because everybody's signals got worse. Screwed up my phone completely. Had to send in and get it repaired. And then when they turned on 5 of those towers, and they did it right before they did that emergency broadcast in October, like 2 days before, within a week, 67% of this county was sick. We had huge numbers out of school. Daycares were empty. The neighboring hospital, because we don't have a local hospital, the neighboring hospital was overwhelmed with people from my county. And we have a local triage ER. That's all we have now. It just opened about 3 months ago. They were overwhelmed with people coming in that had this. Now, how does it, for a virus to spread, it kind of does the merry-go-round effect. It kind of goes through different areas and spreads in a wave. This was boom, boom. I have questions. And I don't know if we'll ever get the answers, but I have questions. I want to know. Yeah, I have questions. And it's like they yell at us and they get mad at us when we want to educate ourselves about what's going on and we have questions. And they're like, oh no, Pat is here. You poor little thing. You're just a low-level serf. You don't need to ask questions. By God, I do. Because I got some humdingers. You know, and one of them is, how can you travel the world and shake everybody's hand and your grown adult son sniff substances off of women's booties and never get sick? But I never leave my home and I get sick. I have questions. Seems like you would run across that way quicker than me because I'm not sniffing any substances off of people's honeys. Just to clarify, that's not happening. Seriously, yes. That I would love to see them do a grocery and bill plan with what I have to finagle. Oh yeah, my dad's great. Every time he butchers a cow from the farm, he brings me some, and then we eat a lot of deer. And back in the day, we'd go and help people that had common brown snapper turtles taking over their ponds and eating their fish and their ducks and stuff. We would go and catch the snapper turtles and put them in a tank and let them clean out because they got mud water in them. Let them clean out, and then we process and eat them. I've ate snapper turtle. I've ate squirrel. I still think squirrel and dumplings is a really great meal. It's yummy. I don't care who you are. We call it limb chicken around here. And it's getting cold enough now, Dave is like, because we like for it to get one hard cold spell because it kills out a lot of the worms and wolves and stuff that squirrels sometimes have, because you don't want any surprises when you're cleaning a squirrel because it's not pleasant. Such a little body, and you find a surprise, you're just, you pitch it. But we're waiting for the first big hard freeze, and then it'll be time to make a big pot of squirrel dumplings. And it's lovely. Your big brother, yeah. Big brother needs to get his nose out of my honey. I'm one of them people. I leave people alone. I won't be left alone. But if you poke me, it's coming back. It's coming back. Nobody ever calls my house until I get on the internet, and I don't even know who's calling me. And I'm not even going to answer it. Because if it's my mama, she'll call my cell phone. But yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I still, we've got a freshwater spring behind our house, and it's so fresh, it's got crawdads in it, and they're huge. And I've threatened my husband to go down. I was like, if I could walk good, I'd go down there and I'd get them puppies and I'd boil them up. I love crawfish. Oh my God, I love them. We pretty much, and there's nothing that makes me happier than a hot iron skillet, cast iron skillet, and you lay a whole fish, a whole crappie right down in it and start sizzling. That's peace and love and clarity in my world. That is, I love that. That is some good food, and that's good for your body. And I love crappie. I would eat crappie all day long if I could. I don't much care for cleaning catfish because they growl at you, but I can. Well, the turtles move for like 3 hours even after you cut their heads off. I'm sorry, that's rude. We dispatch them very humanely and quickly, but they, they're one of those old dinosaurs, and they move for like 3 hours. And I'm just sorry if it moves after I've dispatched it. Okay, I'll go and work on the things that don't move after you dispatch them. I like squirrel. Now I'm not somebody that I won't do squirrel brains. Now my mama grew up eating squirrel brains. I think that's my line. I'm not going to eat a brain. There's too much that can go wrong there. But now I love squirrel dumplings. Squirrels and dumplings. It's just like chicken and dumplings. You just put squirrel, and it tastes the same. It really does. I don't mind cleaning fish, but catfish, they will growl. I mean, even they're dead and they're still growling at you, and you're just like, stop croaking at me. You're dead. Play dead. So catfish and turtles, I don't much care to clean, but everything else, if you can hang it up, I can take it apart. But that's what I was taught to do. So, and I sew a lot of the tanned hides my husband makes into hats and purses and spirit, like little spirit medicine pouches and stuff. I do a lot of hand sewing of hides. And I get attached to some of the animals that are so beautiful that he harvests. And I'm like, that one's mine. It's going to live with me. And I will name it and love it. And it will become part of my decor. I will ask it how it is. My black bear mount is Paddington. And all my deer have names. And my little albino squirrel is Albie. And, I have a very close walk with nature. And people think I'm morbid, but I'm not. The little albino squirrel was roadkill. We just thought it was horrific to waste an albino squirrel that got hit by a car because they're so rare. So we picked it up and paid for it to be mounted. I wasn't about to mount a squirrel, sorry. David's cousin does taxidermy, so we just pitched it to him and said, do this. And I've got 3 bobcat mounts in this house. I've got one that's looking at me right up here. He sits in the curio, above the curio in my kitchen. His name is Anchel, and he and all my guests. Would you like to see him? He looks at, let me find him. Where is he? There he is. I'm going backwards. He looks at all my guests as though he could care less that they are here and they should leave. My crafting curio behind me is a mess, but I will clean it as soon as my crafting splurge is over. And then I've got one in the living room and one in my bedroom. The one in the living room is Bob Meowrly because he looks slightly stoned because they put one of his eyes in crooked. They put one of the eyes, they said it wrong. And it made me so mad because even I know how to do that right. And then the one in the bedroom is Big Bob because he's the biggest one. He holds my necklaces on his tail. Well, see, Matthew, my brother, always took the 12 gauge, so I always had to take the 22 squirrel hunting. So I learned to be a very good shot at a young age because my brother took the scatter shot and I got the 22. So I learned how to sit still and stalk hunt squirrels. And so I learned patience at a very young age. At a very young age, because you have to wait for them little squirrels. And then if you make any movement that notifies them, they're gone. Peace, they're out. And I learned patience at a very young age. I like to watch them play too. But now, I tell you, one day I was deer hunting. This is back when I was younger. I was deer hunting, and I had a little chipmunk come up to me, and he verbally accosted me. You could see the bubble on top of his head. He was cussing me blind. And I was like, dude, shut up. I'm just waiting for food to come through this, holler, move, shut up. And I was like, leave. And I was kicking leaves at him. It was just, he was just cussing me blind. And I got kind of tickled. And I was like, No one will believe this. That was before cell phones. I was like, no one will believe this. I wish I'd had a cell phone that day. I wish it happened later in life and I had a cell phone, because that would have won like money on AFB or something, because he was just a cussing me blonde. He wanted me gone. And I was like, listen, if you haven't figured out you're this big and you need to leave. I was deer hunting once in a stand, and I'd put it up apparently where a squirrel nest was, and I hadn't paid attention. And I had my big hood up over, and I was crunching it. It was cold, and I was just sitting there listening. And all of a sudden, I hear pip, 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 and I lean over and look up, and that squirrel was on the limb above me peeing on me. And I was like, well, that is not neighborly at all. And so I had to like look up and like, like puff at him for a minute, and he ran off. But I had a squirrel pee on me when I was deer hunting. They are little sassy. I'm sure that squirrels speak sarcasm fluently, because their body language tells me they do. It was the funniest thing. It was nice to meet you, Janet. I'm going to log off and rest. I'm getting to feel better. Come back for my interview next week. Come back for the crafting. And if you like Temu hauls and you like somebody that talks quietly as you drift off sleep, check out Menopause and Madness. I just find her very calming at night. And hey, everybody. Shannon D must be working or on her, I think she had a cruise or something. Or a trip she was going to take. I'm hoping she comes back soon, because I miss her. She's funny as crap. But now that I'm getting back to my normal rhythm, I should be putting out a little bit more for you to follow me. And I've got about at least the same number of pictures I've already edited. I've got at least that, possibly twice as many more to still edit for Jonah. So come back and look at those too. And join the family. We're a good group of people, and we don't tolerate trolls. Now, sometimes I'll tongue lash them a little bit, play with them. But they don't stick around long around here. Nice to meet you, Janet. Appreciate you being here. Okay, guys, so everybody knows now that I'm alive. And I made it through COVID. I sound kind of fuzzy today because I did get another antibiotic shot to help move the fluid out of my ear and my right sinus, which it is. That's why I sound like this today. I feel much better. I've had at least enough energy to do a couple of crafts. I'm fixing to have to rest and eat my dinner, though, because it's time. And I'm finally climbing out of it. It took me a long time. It kind of freaked me out, but it wasn't the COVID that was so bad. It was the flare that came along with it. But please be careful, because apparently this strain that's going right now is just as bad as the very first one. Listen, that's not normal in Mother Nature. Most of the time, viruses mutate downward. They never have been known naturally to mutate upwards. So I have questions. I have concerns. Do I know the answers? No. Will we find them? Maybe. But just be careful out there, because this last strain is apparently a whopper. I thought it was more like strep throat, but the flare was what got me. But I can see how this would be very difficult on people that are compromised like myself or elderly, because if you have something else, like when my muscles froze, my intercostal muscles around my ribs, I needed to cough more and I couldn't. But thank goodness I had enough herbal knowledge to really purge that stuff out of my system. So be careful. Honestly, I don't think this is anything you really can dodge. Just be aware and try to look into keeping yourself healthy and how to do that, and local remedies and old folklore, and read stuff like that, because there's some wisdom in there. And the doctors were amazed that I came through as good as I did, but I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. But I still think the flare that it gave me was one of the worst ones I've had in about 3 years. So I was miserable. And you can still see the big rings under my eyes where I've not been sleeping good, just from the muscle issues, the nerve and tendon issues I've been having. But it's getting much better, and I'm starting to get mischievous again, so I know I'm feeling better. So content will be coming. Interview is on its way as soon as she can get here. And I really want to go to the Living Nativity this Saturday. That's like 15 minutes from the house. So if I do that, I'll video for y'all. And that's really all I've got going on. I'm going to eat my dinner, rest for a minute, and then do some more crafting. I've got to hem like 4 beaver and raccoon hats tomorrow. That will be fun. Because my fingers all got poked for blood like 15 times over. But that'll be that. Thimbles, here we come. But I am better, and I appreciate everybody's prayers and good energy. I know poor Gypsy thought she'd lost me there for a few days because I was so sick, and I was like, I feel horrible because normally I talk to her like at least 2 hours a day. I was like, I've just fallen off the face of the earth, but it's just because I was so, either I couldn't talk or I was just so exhausted. I wouldn't have made sense. But I really appreciate y'all, and I appreciate that when I come on, y'all still come back and check in. And the views on some of my most recent videos have actually been really good. So I have a loyal sub base, and I appreciate that. I'm not monetized. I will never monetize. We talk about stuff that money should not be behind. And I'm just here to kind of give you a glimpse of hillbilly life and how my disorder affects me and my health journey. And just to leave kind of an education portal and a snapshot of who I am in case this disorder takes me out before my grandbabies really get to know me. This is kind of my living journal. And I also journal for my grandbabies. Like, I've been writing for the twins since I knew she was pregnant. And then I keep Ellie another journal. And so it's just important for me to leave something. But above that, it's also important for me to educate and to provoke thought. So next week, that's what we're going to try to do if we can get that interview done, if she's feeling up to traveling. And I hope that each and every one of you watch it, take notes, research, and pick your brain, ask questions. And no question is a stupid question. Ask every question, put them in the comments when you watch the thing, and we'll get answers for you, or we'll send you to links where you can find the answers if we can't say them on this platform, which really irritates me. And if for some reason this channel goes boop, you can find me on Brighteon, on Odyssey, or on what's the other one? Brighteon, Odyssey, or Rumble. I have Hillbilly Heart pages earmarked. So if I blip off here, I will be showing up over there because I already have the pages earmarked and ready to roll, start uploading should something happen. Preparedness, people. I am Tantor from Tarzan. Is this water sanitary? Is this a good idea? I'm always prepared. I'm asking questions all the time. So that's what's going on in my world. I hope everybody stays good. Yeah. And I like Rumble. It's not as user-friendly, but if I have to end up there, so be it. That's where I'll go. That's fine. But I just really think that what we have to say is super important, and I'm going to say it. Gosh darn the consequences. I'm going to say it. So if something happens, that's where you can find me. But I am better. I appreciate all the prayers. This was a very long and tedious sickness for me. It was not normal to be sick and be in flare and be in such, I mean, it was just such a bad spot for about a week and a half. And the climb out has been slow, but I am improving. I know, yeah, the rules are a lot less strict over there, and they really, I mean, it's really, you can say whatever you want, which I think I'm going to start gradually kind of motivating over there anyway, but I have such good people over here. I want to make sure that I get the information here as well, you know, regardless of the consequences. So that's where we're at, doing much better. Content will become more regular now that I'm rolling again, and yeah, and I'm at 45 pounds gone now. So I think I might rebound a little bit when I hydrate because I did not eat a lot when I was sick with COVID. And as I hydrate and eat, I'll probably gain a couple pounds back. But that was a lot to lose over that spell I lost. Well, I put on a bunch of fluid and then I lost 9 pounds and then lost 9 more. No, 8 more. And that was way unhealthy. So I expect a little bit of a rebound, but that's okay because we're going in the right direction. But, you know, hey, I'm at 45 pounds now, and maybe I won't rebound too much. But doing good. Just had to get through the sickness, and it was mostly the flare that got me. The COVID was not pleasant, but it was more like strep throat, but the flare was horrible that it caused. So just be careful, watch yourself, and start looking into them home remedies, y'all. I'm telling you, they worked better than anything. At the ER, all they did was give me a nebulizer treatment and check my lungs. They really had nothing to offer. And I'm like, this was what all the panic was about a few years ago. If you're having trouble breathing or can't get anything coughed up, go to your ER immediately. And they just looked at me and said, yeah, you're sick. We're going to give you an albuterol inhaler treatment, and then we're going to let you go home. That's it. They didn't give me anything else. They didn't even try to get my fever down. Basically, you're just going to have to live through it. And I was like, huh, wouldn't even come up here if that was it. But at least I do have a piece of paper that proves I've had it. So I have antibodies. So anybody that wants to put anything in my arm can suck it. That's where I'm at tonight. So y'all know I'm getting better if I'm talking like that. So I'm going to go eat my dinner now. If I do any more crafts tonight, I'll post pictures on the community page. The next few days, ought to see me perk up quite a bit. And I appreciate y'all for visiting with me and spending time with me. Try to do something every day to make you smile. Try to get on those Christmas crafts. Do something to celebrate the holiday, y'all. We're given moments. We need to enjoy them. So if you're having some days and they're just all linking together, try to do something special each day that makes you smile. For me, it's crafting. And come visit when I'm here and chit chat. And if y'all need me, the email is in the comments above. It's watersworkload@gmail.com. I try to check it. I was slow during COVID, but I try to check it often. And let's just get back to rolling, y'all. More pictures of Jonah coming here in a day or two. And hopefully live nativity feed video from there. And just getting back on the routine and starting the gym as soon as I'm healthy enough and moving forward. It's the way life's got to go. So pray for our leaders that they will pull their heads out of their hind ends. And keep everybody in your prayers. Keep Denise in your prayers. She had to leave. She needed to go lay down. And just remember to be good people with good hearts and good minds and do good deeds. The world will benefit from it if we all just can get in that mode. Wouldn't it be nice? Okay, y'all have a good night, and hopefully I will see you back tomorrow with some more crafting. Bye, guys. So good to be back and talking. Yay.